Sometimes you are in need of these tools to calculate, to show numbers, to be more consistent with you when you are comparing to a regular project. And that's why we chose this. Like when we use this lead calculation that we're going to show, you can use from any other certification, but understand that you need to create this baseline so you can create comparisons, and then you win with this.
Yeah.
So here we have the requirements, the pre-requirements. For you to classify, you would at least save 20% in water compared to a baseline. So calculate your baseline is calculating your project as if you were not using any efficient fixtures or any tools to reduce, any strategies, actually not tools, but any strategies to reduce your water intake. So how you're going to do this, we have, if you go into the USGBC website, in the water credits, you will find the water budget calculator. And you can make your calculation over there. Insert your numbers. You can put the numbers in liters or you can put in gallons. You will find that your baseline, and then you will start comparing with what you would put in your project to improve. The minimum that we would save is to qualify for a green building would be 20% of water based on this, comparing with this baseline. So we're looking here to better, what we're going to present here are what are the best ways for us to save water, what are the different realities around the world, because sometimes I'm talking to you here, oh, you have to save 20% water, but perhaps you're living in a country that already lives under this water stress. And a quarter of our population in the world is living under a high risk of water scarcity and stress, and sometimes they are using daily 80% of their potential. They are very high with these pressing issues when it comes to water. And sometimes you're living in a country where you're bathing with 15 to 20 liters per minute with your shower, and this is not a concern for you right now, but it should be a concern to everyone. Like I said yesterday, water, you would think, and you can argue with some scientists that, that water has an infinite cycle. But the water that is available for us human beings is not becoming something that it's plentiful anymore, or it wasn't already, and in some areas. And now it's becoming in areas where it was. So we have actually something that happened in our city. Our city we have high rain levels here. We never experienced any water stress in our city. And last year, now actually, from last year to this year, it's been a year now that we are under a high water stress, where we have water for 36 hours and we don't have for 24 hours. We are here doing this routine now because our water levels are low and our rain level, it just went down out of nowhere. And this is something that never happened before. In 100 years, we haven't seen this, or even more. We haven't seen stress levels of water, and now we're seeing something we've never experienced. And more people around the world are going to experience these issues with the extreme weather.
Yeah, we are facing this here, right? I take a shower with my kid now because to save water, because we don't have much water here, right? Many.
Yes.
It's insane, right? And we aren't doing this to be sustainable anymore. We are doing this here because we don't have water, and this is going to be the reality in many places.
Yes. So we have to understand how to make it better and how to level this at least in a good manner that it would help everyone. And actually, there are numbers showing that from the 1960 up to 2015, more or less, the domestic water use has increased 100%. And this is more than any industry that has, or any other water use have grown. So even though we're not the ones that use the most water, industry is, agriculture is, we are the ones that are growing the fastest, and we're going to be affected the fastest too. So that's why we need to understand where we can do this. Here are some baselines that we're showing to you on screen. You have your toilets, your showers, urinal, public faucets, private, and let's see here. If you look in general, when you are speccing your water fixtures, sometimes there are brands, and I've seen it nowadays, brands that are still telling you that you won't get a good shower if you don't have anywhere between 15 to 20 liters per minute on your shower. And this is so unsustainable and so wrong, because you do have the possibility of having a quality shower with a lower amount of water per liters per minute. This depends on the pressure of your shower, and perhaps your shower should be aerated, and then you will have that same feeling of water plentifulness during your shower, but with a lot less of water being
used. Yeah.
Used, yes. I'm sorry, I missed it. So it's wrong, and it's bad that you're getting that type of information from big companies that are selling these fixtures. So 9.5 liters per minute would be a good shower, and here's the pressure that you will have to look for so you have a quality shower, 550 kilograms bar. When we're talking about toilets, nowadays most places have already the possibility of having dual flush with the same price as a regular toilet. Or you have the possibility of reducing, if you're using those toilets where you have the flush, the box right behind the toilet, you have the possibility to actually put an object there to reduce the amount of water that is infilling there. So you don't have to replace the whole fixture and throw that one away because you have a toilet with a lot more water. You can actually put a block there or something that will fulfill that amount of extra water that you don't need anymore on your flush. So 3 to 6 liters, you will find this in the market. There are more and more. Actually, I think toilets are the one that have evolved faster, because now you have the possibility of finding toilets with a vacuum flush that you don't actually need almost any water. And in toilets also you have the possibility of using reused water. It's something that does not compromise. You don't have to necessarily use potable water for your toilet. This is one place where you have many possibilities of reducing the water use. Same thing with urinals, where you have also a lot more possibilities. And when it comes to faucets, that you're looking into public faucets, I have to share with you an experience that it's not just for you to spec something that it's 1.9 liters per minute, and you have the touch timer where you will have the sensor. It's understanding maintenance. I had the pleasure to measure over 200 faucets in a industry. I had to actually go there, because what were they saying to me is that, oh yes, they used they replaced all their fixtures with a timer, but they were not seeing where the water was going because this was not working and something was wrong, and we had to find out the solution. Well, the solution was maintenance. When I measured that, we didn't even have 10% of all fixtures working properly. They were out of the timing, or their spring was busted because people pressed too strongly, and they were like really excited about washing hands, I guess. But the thing is, there was no balance, there was no level of maintenance, and then some of them were not restricted, or some of the aerators came out and then they were not having the proper liters per minute coming out. Well, it turns out that actually no, the system was not working because it was not properly maintained. So understanding this, and from time to time you're looking at this, it's something that will also bring you a lot of results, not just expect them, but also concerned about maintenance. And understanding when you are, what is the purpose. Some areas you should not reduce too much the gallons per minute, because you need this in hospital settings, or sometimes commercial kitchens. You have this necessity for a lot more because you're dealing with public safety. So understand where you can apply and start creating your water budget. Here I need more, and here I need less, and you start creating something that will bring you the percentage and the amount of water that you want to save, but at the same time you are not going to jeopardize the purpose of the use.
Yeah. So you are seeing here gallons per flush, liters per minute, right? Liters per flush, liters per minute. This is the way that you can go, right? So this is the main types of equipment. Of course, we have more, right? And this is the way to go. So you need to get this baseline, and of course do less than the baseline. You need to make this savings, more water savings, as Sammy said. Sammy is relentless, in the industry. People have fear of her. When she calls, people they run away because Sammy is relentless. Relentless is the right word, right?
I don't know. Maybe sometimes.
Okay.
Yes, no, it is. Well, you have to be emphatic with people sometimes, because what we want is to do the right thing, and sometimes what they require for us is for us to do something that looks like the right thing, and I don't like that. So yeah. I make my case.
Exactly. All right, guys. So if you don't want to see Sammy calling your home, you do the right thing, right? Okay. So we have Energy Star. This is a program developed by the Environmental Protection Agency, right? And we have this internal recognition. You can find an Energy Star in most countries. And this is a label for equipment. So if you find equipment with this label, you are going to be, let's say, half of the way done, or most of the way done, right? So this is a way to go as well. And of course, we need to maintain, right, this water budget. We need to see, right, this balance with different results. It's important to see, right, the results. They just don't will work alone. As Sammy said, you need to look for the maintenance, and sometimes you can lose in one side. Maybe you can't find an equipment for some reason that's not making the right saving, right? But you can find other equipment that can make a bigger savings, so everything is going to be fine in the end because you are getting more savings. So you have these two methods. We have this prescriptive, right? You can just do with all equipments do the right thing, or you can do a calculation if you don't have some equipments doing the right thing, right? All right. Do you want to go with this part while on this? And of course, right, we can use...
Oh, yes, alternative water. Alternative water is also a subject that you have to be careful, but it is something that is also progressing a lot. Capturing rainwater, using this to your advantage, or where you can, like I mentioned before, where you can use rainwater in toilets and stuff. But you have to be careful with the fixtures too, because if you don't have the proper treatment of this water, then perhaps the water ball will become dirty, or it will become, the smell is not good, and then you lose your client right there because they don't want to lose comfort. So use the alternatives, but appropriate projects are a must. So you have the treatment of the water, so you can use this rainwater for your indoor use where you don't need potable water, And you can also use an exterior when it comes to maintaining floors, cleaning your corridors or something like that, or perhaps even in your landscape. Treatment of gray water, it's something that it's also a pressing issue. You have to guarantee sanitation for these people. You don't want to have a great water budget, but perhaps you don't have safety. And safety is important when it comes to water. Not just because you are using, touching this water, you have diseases, things that need to be careful with. Also look at your local legislation. Here in our city, we have a local legislation that we cannot use gray water for different than just watering our gardens. And this requires a treatment. It requires that the sanitation company comes and checks for this and approves, and you have to create tests for this water so you are able to do this. Otherwise, you're going to get a fine. So understand your legislation and understand the type of strategies you're applying, the techniques, and have some sort of guarantees that you will be provided with quality.
Yeah, it's important to say the difference, right, between gray water and black water, right? It's important to say, right?
Yes. When it comes out, black water is the water that comes from your kitchen, the kitchen amount of